Cool. Cool. How's it going? How you feeling?
Amazing.
Good.
I was like, I don't know. How am I feeling?
You look amazing.
Thank you.
As we first came in here, you outdressed me. Thank you for that.
Never outdressed you. I think we look great as a pair.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Is that where this is going already?
I know. Which podcast is this?
One too many boyfriends. That's what it is. That's what it is. Not one too many drinks. Not one too many anything else.
Okay.
But that's the beauty of one too many, though. It could be one too many of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Nothing in excess. Nothing in excess.
Yeah. We'll go to Hush and we'll figure that out. Hold on 1 second. You can just cut out a little bit. 1 second.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. The camera.
Perf.
The little plug fell out there. I was gonna say thank you for meeting up. This is freaking awesome. I'm glad to see you. It's been crazy. It's been like a year since we've seen each other since your birthday.
Yes.
Which was February. Tell me 26.
Spicy season.
26, spicy season. Okay, cool. And we were at Church's boxing gym down there having a little bit of fun. What was that event for again? That was
that was actually for my birthday specifically.
Okay.
But we're always trying to push the envelope with the events company side. So we rented out a boxing gym, had our DJ set up, and had a little jam.
I honestly forgot that it was for your birthday. It was obviously your birthday, but I was, for some reason, we talked about what I've been through over the last 9 months.
Right.
I was literally thinking that it was somebody else because you were working.
Essentially, yeah.
You were working.
I'm always planning. I'm always going to be doing the deed, but
yeah.
No, as long as everyone has a good time, then it's a great birthday for me.
Yeah, that's cool. It was a really good time. The DJs were freaking dope. We had the DJ you had the DJ
in the boxing
inside
ring,
of the boxing ring. If nobody knows what Church's boxing is down on Church Street.
It's the oldest boxing gym of New York City.
Yeah.
And then they only recently decided, actually from that event, that they're going to open it up to doing events like that. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's kind of diversifying all the different venues that we have going on in New York City. Why not?
Sick. Okay. Speaking of venues, okay, we're here in the Skylark right now.
We're at the Skylark NYC. This has been around for about a decade. A little fun fact is that one of the owners of this venue, when they built it, he built on top of the building. And he decided, you know what, this is either going to be a pied-à-terre or an events venue. And I guess events venue won. So they teamed up with Abigail Kirsch, and they host all types of events. It's like the quintessential place in Midtown to have a wedding, birthday, all that good stuff.
Yeah, super cool. I've been here before. I actually think I had a friend that worked here. This is my first time in the living room. Amazing views, obviously, of Hudson Yards. We can see the
Empire State
Building right outside.
Right.
Super freaking cool. How long have you been working with them?
Since they opened, and since the conception, we've been doing all the staffing for the events and helping a little bit with the event coordination. So we've seen it all here.
Cool. And that's through Nova Events.
Yes, Novaera
correct?
Events.
Novaera. Mm-hmm. Cool. And you've been running Novaera for how long now?
So Novaera has was born during the pandemic. It was a pandemic baby. Previously, I was with another company, and that one kind of fell through, unfortunately, because of the economic crisis. But hey, that was a blessing for us, and we've been open now for a little over 3 years.
That's crazy. You're a crazy hustler, man. I love that about you. I always see you doing something new. You're always doing some crazy events, like traveling around the world. Obviously, you have your stuff down in Miami, which we'll get to in a little bit. But what kind of got you here? Where did this? Because it's a crazy world, catering, especially in New York City.
Correct.
I don't think there's anything like
compares to it. Nothing compares to it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
truly. We're kind of the mecca of events in the sense of everything is possible in New York. I always say. Yeah. And when that's reflected in events, what kind of events there are, where do you want to do events, how do you want to do events, nothing is impossible. With my previous company, I actually did move across the U.S., living in every major city, and then did some internationally as well. And I always realized, hey, everything comes from New York. It's always influenced by New York. New York always is the starter for how things go. Um, I love it. I love it. And so kind of how I got into events was like everybody else. This was just a little part-time gig of holding a tray, which was great while I was in college. I was here in New York,
Mm-hmm.
started up with this company. And once I graduated, I realized that my degree sucked. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. And luckily, my boss at the time had offered me a partnership. So what I did is I started running events, and then for him, I moved across the U.S., opening all these different offices for him in every major city. And I realized, hey, you know what? I'm kind of good at this.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also had my fair share of like, I did everything like every other caterer. I did real estate at some point. I don't know. I went through the rounds. I did like every type of modeling job I could have done and failed at. So it's I've been through the ringer. I did the New York hustle, and even now, still hustling, still trying my best to keep up. So
Crazy how we push ourselves here to make it not only as like an artist or a model or whatever.
right,
It's crazy like the little pockets that we get into. It's always real estate, like you said. It's always catering. It's always bartending. It's always something that's flexible but can bring in some good money. Pay the rent here, stuff like that. Um, yeah. Where did you? Are you from New York?
I'm born and raised in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were you?
So I'm born and raised. I was born in the Heights, and then moved over to Queens. I'm still in Queens now. I love it. I think we were talking about, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I do now go between New York and Miami, where we also do business. But New York is home. New York is home.
Cool. And so what's that like being a native New Yorker and still being here and now having your own business and a couple of businesses,
Right.
right? Because I know what it's like to be a transplant and come here and hustle. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, what is that like for you? Because like, what did you get your degree in?
Political science. I was actually
Political
on my
science.
way to going to law school,
Okay.
and then clearly there's no lobbying practice right now. But
Okay.
I felt as though that I do have a home front advantage. Yes. Part of the hustle is not just being book smart, but being street smart, right? So I've been so lucky to build such a big network of people who I can rely on to do almost anything. I always have a guy with a phone number that can help me to do something, or a female. So I'm definitely not at a loss when it comes to my Rolodex. And like I said, I'm very lucky to have all these people with me. I had people working with me that I've known for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So even though I probably don't look like it, but I know people for a very long time.
It's the God complex.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the shoe fits. I'm very lucky though to have that Rolodex. I think that's something that's very unique to New York, is that you're able to retain connections. Obviously, you have to do your part, but you're able to retain connections that help you in almost anything. And
Yeah.
I have businesses that I'm in events and hospitality mainly, but people, everything under the sun I have. So I kind of can call up anyone to get anything done for me at any time, which I'm truly best and happy to be here in New York.
Yeah, that's
that
crazy.
reason.
It's incredible how important that is here in New York, and I just, especially in the hospitality community, I feel like that is, everything is relationships, right?
Right.
And it's kind of this interesting group think community that we all understand each other. You know what I mean? Even though
Right.
we might not even know each other, but we understand each other.
We're in the
right?
trenches together.
We're in the
We've done it all about bringing each other up as well
Yeah,
in any way
yeah.
that we can.
Yeah.
I think it's a genuine connection, whereas not to like crap on any other cities, but I don't think I found that everywhere else.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think so either. I think the only other cities that might compare would maybe be like LA and Miami.
No, not for me.
No.
It's funny. Like I have some people behind the camera who work with me. When we do events in LA and Miami, again, like I said, I'm very blessed. Everybody I have working for me out there has worked for me in New York. So I do have, again, some genuine connections out there, but the culture is the city is dictated by its culture. The culture is just different out there in those cities.
Yeah.
things are a little bit more concrete here in New York, in my opinion.
Are you guys flying people out from New York to come
Some
to
of it
those
because
events?
again, like I said too, I'm all about bringing up anybody who I can. So why not present an opportunity to someone, within my staff here to come to these other cities to help train staff out there, or
Yeah.
on the event planning side, like, we can start working on planning something from here in New York and bring it over. Which honestly, if you're hiring someone who is originally from New York, it's because you want that New York flair wherever you are. We're not the right fit for everyone, but I do know that we bring a level that is different from what those cities are used to.
Yeah. 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 I feel like you're really competitive. Do you consider yourself a competitive
Absolutely
person?
not.
No.
Actually, that's something that I don't agree with at all. There are so many clients out there. There's so much staff out there.
Yeah.
There are so many opportunities out there. I don't feel as though it's important to compete with someone else.
Mm.
I always say when we have an event, could we throw events for ourselves in the company too? Why not? And I'm like, we deserve to celebrate too.
Yeah.
Our biggest competition is ourselves. That is what it is. Our biggest
Yeah.
competition is ourselves.
Yeah.
We are always trying to improve ourselves. We are competing with ourselves. We can do better and better and better. Honestly, I
Yeah.
don't really care what everybody else is doing. I
Yeah.
don't.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything that kind of like inspires you when you see another company or just an event in general, whatever it might be, right? That kind of like sparks your interest to be like, I need to freaking do that, or like I could do that better. Like,
Well, again, I will never say I could do something better. Like I said, it's not about competition.
Hmm.
What drives me is impact. What is the impact that your event is making? Because obviously, an event is there's a purpose behind it, right? Even if it's like a business event and it's like promoting a product or something, that product is to enhance something when it comes to society, right? Whether
Right,
it's like
right.
a beauty product or a health product, whatever it may be, or you're celebrating something, whether it be a wedding, a birthday, everyone being together, whatever the case may be. Again, there's still an impact to be made. That is I think the biggest part and the most difficult part of events, because while you may think 5 red balloons is, chintzy and lame for a birthday party, maybe it's for a kid who's never had a balloon for his birthday, to be dramatic.
Mm.
So maybe that's why I think understanding what the event is about and who it's for, well, then that's how you're going to make the greatest impact. So that is what I look at. Because you can see
Mm.
wedding photos of a couple and realize that, they really enjoyed their day. Or it looks like they just kind of put on a show and they didn't get to really be the main characters.
Mm.
So, I think that's what I look up to, is when I can see the impact.
Mm. Yeah, that's what lasts forever too. Like, especially, I think in all facets of hospitality, like you remember that experience, right? Like
Correct.
you remember that amazing waiter. You remember the detail that they remembered. You remember the lighting. You remember what was on the walls, how the staff greeted you, right? And how you were taken care of.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what they call it, hospitality.
Right. Exactly. Most
Yeah.
hospitable.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this before we got started, and you were kind of just mentioning it in terms of like not really competing with other people. There are so many staffing agencies and so many event groups and stuff like that. He's a pretty good friend of mine, Calais. Like, I don't know how close you guys are. Like,
Very close.
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I figured you guys were. Like it's. I kind of just wanted to hit on, like, I think that's really cool because there are a lot of staffing agencies and event groups that are very competitive and that want their guys to be exclusive with them and all that kind of stuff. And you guys don't steal from each other, which you made clear when we were just kind of hanging out and
Right.
setting everything up. So can you just like speak a little bit about that relationship that you have, like not only with Calais, but like maybe other groups,
Agencies and all that.
and agencies.
Well, this
and
is a
stuff.
great conversation to have because this is something that I talk about with my staff a lot. They even sometimes perceive me as being someone who is asking for exclusivity or asking for them to just pledge their time to me. That's not what it is. My beginning story, like I said before, is I was a waiter. 18 years old. That's what I was doing. I was cater waitering. But at that time, straight until I owned my own business, I only worked for one company. Why? Because I understand if I invested my time into a company, then I can expect the company to invest their time into me.
Mhm.
And honestly, I do have more than a handful. I would say at least two handfuls of staff that only work for me, and we have that mutual respect. In general, I don't like to call myself a boss or a CEO. I like to say that we are in a partnership. I'm in
Mm.
a partnership even with my staff.
Mm.
Whatever they bring to the table, I bring to the table 50% as well. So just kind of focusing ourselves and not other companies, that competitive nature that we don't do. When it comes to being loyal to a certain company, it is because of the fact that we're going to invest in one another. And like I said too, these guys are not just waiters and these females are not just waiters. I bring them onto all my other ventures as well. Some of them will express to me, hey, you know what, I'm taking some photography classes. So, okay, so well, I do have a marketing company called Hashtag Boom. So then I'll bring them over on that side and they can be on set to see how we shoot a campaign or how we shoot, anything. And that's again how I'm investing into them as they're investing into me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never exclusivity in the sense of like, you can't work for other people and I don't want to see your image on something else. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's really how much am I investing into this relationship as you are as well.
Yeah. Do you find any difficulties with that in dealing with artists? And like I know that a lot of the people that work in this industry, especially in like catering and whatever events, and
Difficulty is a
like
strong word. It's not necessarily it's difficult. It's just shining the light to see that it's not just about making the next dollar. Even though we're all in survival mode, we all got like New York City bills to pay. So I
yeah,
do get that.
yeah,
So it's me really just trying to inspire them to let them know, you know what, I've been in the same position. I know the same worry, but again, the investment is there if you want to make the investment. I don't force it on anyone either. Maybe that's not for everybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True. That's legit. Um, what are some of I kind of want to get into this a little bit. What are some? Can we talk about some memories? Can we talk about some memories now? Can we go down memory lane and this business is fun.
Yeah, huh?
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, my goose said that.
I mean, it's a lot of hard work, but it's also a lot of fun. Can we talk about some scary memories? Can we talk about some scary memories? Well, I don't know. Scary might not be the right word.
I
for
know.
you.
I was like, I don't know if I want to get into
Scary
that.
might not be the right word for you, but I mean, I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
crap going on in this industry. You know what I mean?
I think it's the basic traumas, right? There's a lot of traumatizing things, even in this venue alone. But you know, I would say it's like kind of like the basic things, right? It's the basic things of like, so we do host weddings here at the Skylark, and it's full on setup, like sit down dinners, and there have been times where the table comes crashing like 5 minutes before guests arrive or stuff like that. But I would say something to focus on is that, well, you kind of learn from your mistakes, hopefully. So what we'll do now is we make sure we're set up like half an hour before. So if the table comes crashing, guests are not coming yet. But I think we don't really focus on the trauma. I think there's actually way more fun going on. Like, you're kind of in the room. I can't even remember necessarily something that I was like, I never want to be in events ever again because of this. But there have been so much more times where it's like, holy crap, like I'm in events, I'm in the room with like previous, presidents of the United States, or like, anybody, dignitaries.
Yes.
I don't know, major celebrities, if that's like your thing. So I think that's actually what makes the job worth it. I always say for every bad event you have 4 good ones. So, it's not I don't think there's anything. Do you even have experience of anything that was like super traumatic that you're like, I'm never going to step foot, in an event space ever again?
Nothing super traumatic, but I mean, I've just, like, it's also different, but being on staff, you see a lot of dudes like doing crazy stuff and, like,
well, okay,
stuff
true.
they
This is
shouldn't
not
be
the career
doing,
for everyone.
and
So there's definitely a lot of staff who don't take it seriously.
obviously lots of stealing going on.
Yeah, I was like, they're doing some things but these are people also who are going to do that in any profession. So that's why I don't take it personally. I know they're not doing it against me. So, and what do? We just don't use them anymore. No problem.
Yeah, you just get rid of them.
But I will say something that I think like I didn't say it's not a competition, but something that I'm very proud of with my old company that I honed on, and in this company as well, is I have a core group of people, and the core group is for many reasons. One, talent. They're all really good at what they do, not just holding a tray, but making sure that the guests are happy. Then they also work as a team. So they actually like each other. So, I mean, we're all hanging out before, during, and after a gig. So it kind of becomes a family. And I think that's important because, as you see, when it comes to independent contractor work elsewhere, what happens? You don't really even know the guy next to you. And yeah, you might get to know them a little bit. And then, like you said before, some of them you're on castings with. So that'll actually kind of be like your competition in that sense, right?
Most of them you're on castings
right?
with.
So
Most
it's like,
of them you're on castings with.
so sometimes, it's like you don't even necessarily want to be friends with that person. But what I love about, Novaera and like our previous companies is that we all kind of like really get along. We like each other.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick. Are you guys doing like larger scale work? Like how large? How large of scale
It depends
stuff
on
are
the
you doing?
season, right? Because when it's convention season, there are things that we can do at the Javits Center. And then when it's, slower season, January, whatnot, then we'll be like in boutiques and stores, or Fashion Week will be in boutiques and stores.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the time of year and where. Like I would say Los Angeles is a little bit different from New York. Like they don't really do as many big convention type of events as much as New York, because New York is more conducive to that.
Yeah.
It
Could
really
you
depends where.
could you talk about and real quick? Could sh- Alyssa, right? Allison, sorry. I'm sorry.
Allison's a very important part of our group.
Allison, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have camera fry right now. I didn't want to screw up on camera, and I did. Is that still recording? I just want to double check. Okay, cool. At some point, that is going to click off when it does, because my timer somehow didn't start. But can you just keep an eye on that? Yeah, and then I'll get up and or you can just I'll tell you the button to push, but we'll get right back into this. So could you talk about, because I don't think a lot of people understand, like I don't think a lot of people outside of catering and outside of like a wealthier tax bracket
right
understand that these like boutique shops like Hermes and YSL and Marc Jacobs and all that stuff, they have these like boutique parties for their clients. Can you kind of like talk about that? Because
where that comes from,
a lot of people understand that happens. Yeah.
Right. So where that comes from, obviously, is the marketing world. And the way the marketing world works, which, hey, we have a marketing company too, is you are promoting, again, like a service, a good, something that's, that they need to get out there. Part of that as well is the customer experience. Because you're paying a luxury price for a luxury item, you're expecting a luxury experience. So that's what the brands invest in, which is great. We work with several different boutiques, and the boutiques, if they have like a launch for an item, or if they have their VIP customer, which a VIP customer, probably spends a pretty big penny on that store, they'll be hosting either them and their friends, or they'll be hosting influential people, influencers, to come to these events to also promote whatever is that business or whatever is that product. And usually it's centered around certain times of the year, because, in fashion, there's different seasons, or it can be for holidays, like Mother's Day or Father's Day or something, really whoever they're trying to reach. And they're usually targeting certain demographics. The demographics will be either like a younger age group, like stores in Soho will have a younger group coming in, whereas stores on Madison Avenue will have an older group. And then that's where the event sides come in. Well, then we're going to make sure that whatever we're serving will serve that demographic. You're not going to serve a margarita to somebody up, on the Upper East Side.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. Who are some of those brands that you're working with and that you have like a good lasting relationship with? Right
we have quite a few. Something that we offer also at Novaera is a little bit different from everybody else is client discretion. So we make sure that the clients themselves feel as though that we're not trying to push Novaera Events Group for X, Y, and Z. Because the events are not about us. They're really not. Even though we help enhance the experience, we are not the experience.
God.
The experience is whatever that product is. So if you look on Novaera Events Group on Instagram or anywhere, you'll notice I don't have any of the branding on there. Why? Because again, those photos from those events are for the client, not for me.
Mm. So then, how do you shoot? Do you so then, how do you shoot your
How do we
work?
market? Yeah. So if you notice, if you look at our Instagram, we actually, because I have a marketing business, I'm lucky that I'm able to have this opportunity. We do produce shoots, and part of our produced shoots are to show our creativity. Because if you look at all these other events companies and their Instagrams, what is it? A guy pouring a glass of champagne, somebody holding
Yeah.
a tray of drinks,
Yeah.
and then you have the singer singing. So it's like I think all the events companies, at least the top events company of New York, they can all handle that. So how do you show your creativity? Well, that's how we challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
We are competitive with ourselves with every campaign that we come out, trying to show what we're all about. We're all about our diversity. We're all about our guests. We're all
Yeah.
about client relations. We're all about how we can better ourselves and better serve you as a guest.
Yeah.
So
How did you start the hashtag boom? Like, what made you
that's
do
a fun
that?
story. So the marketing part of this. So I think when Instagram first kind of like started up around that time, many years ago, I was trying to think of my handle, and I'm like, I don't want to use my name. That's kind of boring. So I think it just came to me, hashtag boom, because that's when hashtags first came out and utilizing those for marketing purposes.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna print out 10 hats that say hashtag boom on it. For my birthday that year, I went to Santa Monica. We all wore the hats and we went bar hopping. We ended up selling one of those hats for $200. And like when they asked what it was, I'm like, like whatever. So it ended up working out that it was a cool hashtag.
Yeah.
Then I decided, I was like, you know what? Well, I want to produce some shoots from this. So we just producing shoots basically just based off of my personality. At the same time as when I was pursuing also a little bit of modeling and acting. So I wanted my modeling acting persona to be hashtag boom. So I kind of carried that along. And in the castings, they always kind of noticed like, oh, that's your handle. That's kind of cool. So it kind of helped me a little bit. From there, it turned into helping others with their marketing campaigns. So we were able to have the opportunity to work with restaurants, with brands, all that stuff to come up with these campaigns. Then I realized the niche market that I wanted to focus on is minority owned businesses.
Mm.
Why? Because unfortunately, minority owned businesses are probably the biggest demographic that cannot afford a marketing team. And I'm very
Right.
fortunate with coming up with my events background. I'm in every marketing room possible. So I'm able to pick up some tips here and there, took a few courses here and there. So that is how we focused on minority-owned businesses and minorities in general with helping them promote whatever their brand is. So that's kind of where we came to today.
That's really, really dope. I think that's freaking great. I mean, personally and professionally, I think it's also great to combine both worlds for yourself. I'm kind of doing something similar currently that I'm working on that will be doing that as well. Yeah, so how has that helped your, the Novaera side?
The way in general it's working is what I had said before, right? Most people who are in Novaera as like a waiter, server, captain, whatever, they all have other passion projects. Especially when you're in New York, it's common, as you know, to have many passion projects.
Yeah.
So I'm able to bring over people on all of my different companies, which that's like an advantage, I think. Everyone I'm able to grant exposure to so many more people. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the worlds are just related. Hospitality as an umbrella, and marketing as an umbrella, it's all interrelated.
Yeah.
It's also understanding where society is at currently to know how to better serve them in all of those markets. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a way that helps.
Yeah, and you got a couple more projects that you're working on.
Yes.
Right.
So
Shall we speak about
we
those little
can.
guys?
So I'm working on an event, and
Can
right
we just
now-
make sure that that's still recording? It's okay, perfect.
yeah, so we're working on this little experience. When it comes to the events company, I have a great clientele already. I have a great staff list. So what I'm trying to do is kind of reinvent how we do events more and more. And rather than just trying to attain all the clients in the world, I want to do different types of events. So I have actually a property down in Miami called the Doghouse, and the Doghouse is based off of lodging, but not just lodging and sleeping, but doing events there as an event space and all that good stuff. So we have come back.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's
We had a
perfect.
surprise.
Look, it had to stop recording right when we started to do
recording
that. So there's a
Okay.
button right to the right of the screen.
Yeah.
It has like a red camera and a white camera.
Yeah.
Start, stop. Press that, and it should turn. The screen should come back on.
Yeah. At least we have more.
It's recording it. The red blinking. Cool. All right. Cool. Do we have another sparkle?
Oh wait, I told you. See, things go wrong, but it's all good because we. Gotta cover it. We're doing this for too long now. But yeah, while he's getting
You
set up.
gotta come correct. I love that. You always got everything ready.
Round two.
Yes, yes, yes.
But so to go back to what we were saying is, not only do I, people do host lodging at the Doghouse Miami, it's also shoots that happen. There are also event experiences. So event experiences is my new thing.
Okay.
It's when we're hosting a group of people who already are friends or related to one another, and try to like get some experiences out of it for the guests that's curtailed to them. It's not just your standard cocktail party. It's gonna be something that's for you. So,
am I supposed to hold this? What's
I can bring it. I can bring it over. Got it.
Hey, yo,
go,
with
there you go.
the powder cage on top.
So we have an event coming up. Here you go.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a whole experience.
Hey, hey. Let's go.
So while you take yours, I'll explain what's going on next week. We're hosting a group of friends who are coming from New York to Miami for like a little boys' weekend. So one night, what we're doing is we're hosting a Brazilian night, which this is like a little preview of that. We have a little pão de queijo served over at caipirinha, a little hors d'oeuvre, and I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. It's a little theme, and it's curtailed to them. Instead of going to a restaurant as you normally would in Miami, well, we're bringing the restaurant experience to you and your group. So, I mean, it's a little venture we have going off. We're going to see what happens. Get a little boozy.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you know that I love caipirinhas?
I mean, who doesn't love Brazilians?
I love caipirinhas so much.
All right.
They are one of my favorite. It's top three.
Yeah.
It's top three for me.
What's the other two?
A last word.
What is that?
And it's typically made with gin
Yeah.
and Luxardo maraschino,
Okay.
and then lime juice and green chartreuse.
Okay.
I like to drink it with mezcal
Mhm.
instead of gin, but
Okay.
with gin it's amazing as well. But mezcal is just it's on the money. But
So I'm hearing
they're actually similar, like kind of flavor profiles. Besides the the cachaça obviously has.
I was
its
gonna say
own
you're
flavor.
very much into the limey kind of guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bitter.
Yeah. I like both. I like this.
A little sour.
I love everything. I really try to love.
You love all alcohols.
I-
Equal opportunist.
I am an equal opportunist alcohol. No. Wait, no. I was kidding.
I'm like, we have another podcast for that.
We do. Trust me.
I
So,
love drinking.
some of the episodes can get there for sure. But I love caipirinhas. So I'm grateful to be here and share this little cocktail with you.
Of course.
Yeah. So thank you.
Of course.
Cheers.
Cheers. Delish. Ricardo killed it.
You want me to polish that? That was delicious, by the way. I have a question for you. You're Brazilian, correct?
See, we are.
Please say yes. Please
so
say yes. Please say
diverse.
yes.
From Brazil.
Yes.
Shipped in.
So, I used to work with a Brazilian guy. He would put a little pineapple juice in his caipirinhas. Is that common or no?
It's not a traditional way. You can play around. You can have berries, strawberries. You can have passion fruit. You can do like a bunch of other things.
It's not the OG way.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I never had it actually. I guess you can do like pineapple.
I guess if you want it sweet.
Puree, you can make it nice with a pineapple puree.
You said sometimes that they're putting strawberries.
Strawberries, I can do the berries like blueberries, blackberries. I've seen them doing like.
I think in general what it is, it's like.
Brazil, they do like a lot of of the more tropical fruits. They mix it with mango. They play around with a lot of the But the most traditional one I would say is a lime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
lime, and the strawberries might be the second most popular one.
Oh,
Basically,
interesting.
if you're Brazilian, you can mess with the caipirinha, but if you're not, you have to leave it alone.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why we bring in the specialists at Novaera.
Oh gosh. So you got friends coming down from, you said, New York?
It's a group of
Or
friends that's coming down from New York. They're celebrating at the doghouse. Then we propose this package with them to do a little experience. And, you know, Latin culture down in Miami is pretty heavy. So that's why
course.
we proposed doing our little Brazilian night. I'm very excited for it. And like we were saying before, I'm bringing down 2 of our event coordinators, and they will be actually the hosts, not even me. To give them that experience, you know, to see what they can do with Novaera and the event planning side, which it's kind of hard to get into the event planning world without having any experience. So I'm pretty happy and excited to see what they're going to come up with.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And being in Miami is always fun. It's always
mean,
nice.
Good, fun, dangerous. All the above.
So the doghouse is event space slash
Lodging.
like lodging, Airbnb type of situation.
Yeah. Photo shoot, studio, all that good stuff.
Yeah, cool.
We did take a lot of time to invest in it aesthetically wise so that it can really translate well. We actually hosted some podcasts down there as well.
Oh, cool.
So it's great. It's a loft space, so it has plenty of light in it. It's a dream. It's a dream come true. It's really like a New York City apartment, but larger, in Miami. So I couldn't ask for marrying both worlds together.
Yeah, I saw the Airbnb, or whatever the Airbnb. That's just probably how you guys mainly book it out, just through
For lodging,
Airbnb
yes.
or something like that.
Right.
That was booked up.
Yeah.
It was booked up.
Yeah.
It was like fully booked. So
Right.
if anyone's trying to get in there,
Don't message me.
get on there quickly.
We got friends and family help.
Yeah, it looks dope though. It almost reminded me. Actually, the space that we're in right now is kind of like the aesthetic, the vibe that I kind of was feeling from the pictures and everything. I'm sure it's amazing. What neighborhood is it in?
So it's in Midtown, which
It's
is
in
like right
Midtown.
next to Brickell, and everything is very centrally
That's right.
located. The building itself also, it's like a high amenity building with pool, all that good stuff. So you're definitely gonna have a good time when you're there.
Nice.
And like I was saying before too, the way that it was coordinated, my friend Harriet from LA, she's the one who helped me design it. All I told her is I wanted to feel like Tom Ford went to Miami, and she killed it. So like I said, it's all about building your connections and having your connections from New York. That got me to where I'm at. The space really is beautiful. It feels like home, without it being your home, right?
Super fire. Do you ever go down there?
Oh, I'll be down next week. I'll be heading down with the team to help set up that event.
Right.
And, obviously have a little bit of fun while we're there.
Yeah. Where do you ever go down there kind of like by yourself and spend some time down there and just like
I mean, when you're
research?
running, we're at the age now where you're never really just hanging out. There's always plenty of work, plenty of things to go on. We have events down in Miami also pretty often. A big event that we throw down there every year is for Art Basel. We host our own Art Basel event where we have some artists that we feature. I have a friend, his name is Ross Pino. He's someone that I feature every single year. He's down there, and then we'll have like DJs come in and all that good stuff to do an artist preview. We got events going on.
That's
around,
fire.
Across coast to coast.
That's fire. I gotta come down there, man.
I know. I invited you. Got to come in. It's
Are you inviting me for this one?
if you want to, there's plenty of room. Lodging's up to 5 people now.
5 bedroom, 2 bath.
Let me read off
5
this.
bedroom, 3 bath.
No, you're always invited.
Yeah, I would love to come down there sometime with you and for an event or whatever. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm also like I haven't been to Art Basel yet, but I'm
You're missing out. That's my
yeah.
favorite time of year.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
when all
heavily
the
involved.
creatives come together in the same city at the same time.
I know.
Mass chaos.
I know. I've been trying to go for the last couple of years. I was gonna go this year, but just didn't work out. But I'm pretty heavily involved in like the art world as well. I got a couple close friends that are really good artists, and I like go to gallery showings all the time. I've helped get their stuff into some galleries before, and so it's kind of like a little bit of a side hustle, right? On top of the 20 other things that
Nothing wrong with that at all.
that I'm doing. Why don't we take a little break, maybe like a little 5-minute break?
Cool.
and we can come back to it and maybe wrap it up or something.
Shots time. Let's do it.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Another caipirinha wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Another caipirinha wouldn't hurt.
There.
I'm not supposed to be drinking for for this next episode I'm doing, but you know.
It's only 11 a.m. It's okay. Thirsty.
It's 11:30 now. It's brunch.
Thursday.
It's brunch. Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
With Novaera.
Cool. Let's take a little break and we'll come back to it. All right.
Thank you.
So you guys came here yesterday. I didn't know you actually
We
came.
did a dry run. It's my fault.
I didn't know you actually came here.
Because I don't know why I saved it as yesterday's date. 'Cause remember, that's when you told me you were flying in. So I think maybe in my mind,
You just wanted to know when I was flying. You wanted to remember I was flying in.
I wanted to hang out with you yesterday.
Yes.
And today.
And today.
And tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And Miami, too. Yeah. You're booked.
This is why I needed to come back to New York.
Exactly.
This is why I needed to come
I'm
back
a
here.
professional at having a good time.
Oh God, that's fucking. Wait.
Oh, you flipped the camera now. I was like, oh, no, I see myself.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that we were all good. But dude, that is interesting. So okay, so when you texted me yesterday, I
That was a
didn't know you
passive
were
aggressive text.
here.
Yeah, it was a passive aggressive text. When I said good morning, it was like, good morning, where are you? But without saying, yeah. See? And then when I literally like went upstairs to take like my morning poop, and then I'm like, all right, looking at my phone, and I'm like, you know what? Kyle, though, I feel like is on top of his game, so maybe there's something else happening. And I'm like, it's me. I'm happening. I chose the wrong day to be here. So then we both sat in the chairs over there looking at the Empire State Building. And we're like, okay, so let's figure out the rest of our day now.
Oh my God.
Which ended up being the most productive day ever. So it was great. Yeah.
Good. You got done what you needed to get done yesterday.
Yeah. We were so
That's
prepared for today.
fucking amazing.
And like-
Wait, did you show up yesterday?
No, I had someone else.
No.
Yeah. And then he's booked to work today, so then that's why I called up Ricardo.
Oh my
Because-
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like I said, it's never a traumatic story. I didn't ask. I asked you yesterday for today, yeah. Because it was Gustavo who I had yesterday. And he's on another event today.
Wow. That's hilarious. Well, good stuff.
Yeah. You
Good.
know.
Good for you. Good for us.
We call upon our connections that we've built in New York.
Indeed.
See, full circle.
Indeed. The full circle moment. Cool. Well, so let's kind of, I don't know, we can kind of wrap it up, but I kind of want to ask you just kind of where you see yourself. And I know, before we started, you mentioned that and then other interviews that you've been in and that you've done, people have kind of asked you that question a lot, but I actually am curious about that and, where you see all these businesses going and like if you have brighter future goals, they don't even have to be brighter, just whatever future goal it might be for yourself and the company and stuff
Darker
like
future
that.
goals is what we're going for.
Darker future goals.
We're aiming real low. So Novaera. No. Never.
Hey, shit. Maybe you want to move to a freaking, I don't know. Maybe you want to move to a commune and stop all the businesses. I don't know. It's a different goal. It's not darker, though.
I know. I was like, we're not going to pass judgment.
Maybe you want to be on a farm.
I don't even know where.
Wait. You're trying to buy out party rental.
Ah, that's dark. That's dark.
That's
That's
really dark.
Yeah. That hippo. That's traumatic, actually. That is traumatic.
I don't need to lug around any more 24 cases of fucking flutes or 48 cases.
I have a different partner, actually, that we work with. Shout out. All borough. No. Good question. So, and I get asked that actually pretty often, even like within the company and people who work with me and friends and family. Like I've stressed this before, and I'll stress it one more time as we're closing out, is that I've been so lucky with the opportunities I've been presented. while yes, it's been a struggle, it's hard. Like we talk about the knit and grit of New York and the hustle and all of that. I do have to say I'm very, very, very lucky to be in the position I am today. Especially being a minority-owned business here in New York City, it's actually not as easy as people think it is. It's not as diverse here as people think it is. With that being said, I have a village of people behind me. And with that village of people, well, now I am focused on bringing them up. So what I see for my companies and everything is let's see how they can handle it. Let's see what they want to do with it. Let's see where they fit within it. I love seeing growth. I myself, I'm living comfortably right now. I feel like I've achieved all my personal goals a long time ago, which weren't really much, you know. So I think for myself personally, bringing up the people around me, especially bringing up the people who I love around me, that's what I see. Also, growing in different directions. Like I said, I don't need to have 1,000 clients with 1,000 staff doing 1,000 cocktail parties. That's not my goal to grow that way. My way to grow is how else can we reach people? How else can we make an impact? Politically, there's so much going on right now. Economically, there's so much stuff going on right now. Well, how can we work around these parameters to build up morale in society? Build each other up in society. So for me, I think I'm more focused on like how can we grow in different patterns rather than just straight linear and with no soul and no morality.
Yeah. Soul's a large factor in that.
Of course.
Soul's a large factor in a lot of things that I do, and also like I help with some nonprofit organizations, coaching volleyball, minority owned.
Nice.
A lot of the stuff we do is in minority communities and underprivileged communities and stuff like that. So I hear you in terms of the growth aspect and everything that you're looking for, and I love that. Like you definitely want people on your staff that want to grow with the company and within the company, right?
Or
like
really grow with each other.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Novaera, doesn't have to be #boom, doesn't have to be the doghouse, but together uplifting each other.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So, you have your fair share of experience with events.
Yeah.
Where do you see there is a hole or a gap in the events industry right now?
Where do I see there's a gap?
I'm good at this, see?
Well, I do think that from the bartender side, there's a gap there. Like, I don't think enough companies are doing like trainings and like, and it that's kind of like a hard thing to breach. It's like, I worked for Olivia Chang for a couple of years, and they do a lot of trainings and stuff like that with their people. And I think that's really good and really helpful if like whatever agency like is not doing that. I think that's really important, like having a really like strong backbone and identity and skill set for everybody that's working. I think that's
just skilled labor in general, I think is a good umbrella for what you're saying, right?
I think that's a really important thing. And I don't know like your side of it. I only know working as, like a bartender, waiter, blah, 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 blah.
I think the difficulty when it comes to trainings, because we do trainings, but the difficulty is getting the people to show up.
That's what I was about to say. That's where the bridge is hard, because it's like these people are just trying to make some freaking money and like show up and hold a tray, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like most people, right? Like,
I think it's clear with people, your viewers and people who follow you and just know you in general, that you have a passion for everything you do. Even when you worked with us, it's obvious that you wanted our event to be a successful event.
Yeah.
So whether it was you taking photos with people, dressing up, we had you kind of dressed up and all that good stuff.
I brought out the bottles.
Yeah. So it was very obvious that, he cared. He cared that the event was successful and that the guests had a good time. So can't say that's true for everyone. Like we said before, that the traumatic stories of people just trying to get their next paycheck rather than realizing they could be getting a lot more paychecks or getting a bigger paycheck.
Yeah.
So I think that is true. For me, where I see the whole is still in the diversity element of not just race, but with sex. I'm sure you realize. Remember, it used to be.
Well, definitely, for
it's
sure.
all males.
All guys. All
For
guys.
many different reasons, which we won't get into right now as we're closing up. But it's been my goal to kind of bring up females as well, all genders rather, in this events world. They're just as capable as the guys are. And like we said, diversity when it comes to, ethnicities as well is a big thing, and race, because of the fact that, yes, we are representing our brands and these companies and our clients, helping them shift, how we see campaigns, like even in the modeling world as well. It's important to realize that, you know what, it's not okay. It's not okay to just produce one type of look or one type of thing that we think is right or superior.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely that going on. There's
Yeah,
definitely
right?
that going on for sure.
Yeah. I still get requests to this day when they're like selecting staff and they're, it's geared one way, or it's going, you can see the vision that they have. And we just choose not to work with them. Like I said before, there's plenty of work, plenty of clients, plenty of staff, plenty of jobs.
Yeah.
There's no need to perpetuate that narrative.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool that you said that. And I also think that the cultural identity and leadership in a lot of event groups is missing. But it's also a very hard thing to do, especially because you have a lot of people that are coming in and out and working for different 4 different companies at once. I know people that, a bartender that works for 4 or 5 different event groups at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to get them committed to a certain cultural identity and
Right.
That your group has. But I also see that a lot of people that are, team leads and shit like that, bro, they're just not good. They're not real leaders. You know what I mean? No one doesn't really respect what they say. But that's also kind of the dynamic, because it's bro, I'm just here for today, and I might not ever see you. Might never be my team lead ever again.
Well,
so it's that hard thing to
marry.
bridge and gap, and
Well, that's why I also emphasize to people is that still at the end of the day, correct, if you just want a paycheck, it is a paycheck, and a paycheck is to be earned. So as I gave you your praise for, well, that day that you came to work with us, it was for you to get a paycheck to begin with, right? When you walked in, you were pleasantly surprised that you knew half of us. And I'm sure that was a helpful part of it.
Yeah.
But still, you never dropped the ball once, because you took pride in what you do. And I feel like the group of people I have behind me as well, with me in partnership, they all give a damn, about what they're doing. Whatever they're gonna do it to their best capabilities.
Yeah.
Which I commend them for that. I sing their praises for it. Hopefully I remind them that all the time that, they do have an influence, which was something that kind of drawing this all full circle is what is the influence of you in this world, in events, in providing a, hospitable experience, all the above.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's killer. That's super cool. And we got to get back at that freaking sound company, dude. That sound company that made me carry all those the whole DJ board and the freaking speakers and all that shit back up those stairs at church. That was dangerous.
That was.
Actually, it was almost dangerous.
Yeah. But as traumatic as it was, look, we're still hanging. Having a Brazilian day, yes.
Cool. So cool. Thanks for doing this.
Of course, bud.
Super cool. I love this,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you guys for being here too. This is super cool. Thanks for
guys
all your help as
for
well.
coming.
It's crazy too. I got to show you a picture of my friend Jimena. They could be twin sisters.
You know what it is? It's not the look, it's the vibe. She's just cool vibes.
It's
Cool vibes.
well, it's both. It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. It's both. She definitely got cool vibes. Though. I love it.
Right?
All right, cool. Cheers, salud.
Cheers. Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you, brother. Love you.